The defense in the criminal trial of Duduzile Zuma-Sambudla has challenged the credibility of state witnesses who accuse the former president's daughter of incitement to commit public violence. Advocate Dali Mpofu will continue cross-examining a digital law expert today who is the latest to testify on a series of tweets Zuma-Sambudla posted during the 2021 unrest. Now, they state claims they influenced public violence and terrorism at the time. Karinda Jagmohan is live for us from Durban for this update. It's the witness that has submitted the latest tweet regarding President Cyril Ramaphosa. Good morning to you, Karinda. Let's get the latest here.
Good morning, Arabile. That's the one. It's a screen recording that this witness submitted of a tweet that Zuma-Sambudla posted during the unrest, later deleted. That tweet shows an election poster with President Cyril Ramaphosa's picture on it and then gunshots being fired at that poster. Now, Sadler, during her cross-examination, that's the digital law expert, conceded that Zuma-Sambudla's references, seemingly hateful references to Ramaphosa, is not necessarily a crime. Hating any politician is not necessarily a sin, she says. However, she did point out that many of the videos Zuma-Sambudla had posted during the unrest, including this video of the election poster showing Ramaphosa, was shared then by external parties on WhatsApp groups where the unrest had been coordinated, showing a link between the two, and then further claiming that Zuma-Sambudla had indeed partly instigated some of the public violence we saw at that time. Take a listen.
This footage of shooting the Cyril Ramaphosa election poster was certainly being circulated amongst instigators, not just on the Twitter/X social media platform, but also on the WhatsApp groups used to coordinate.
Now, problems arose for this witness essentially during cross-examination when she conceded that the report that she gave to the Hawks in their investigation and ultimately to this court is a memorandum and not an expert witness testimony. So essentially saying that although she is an expert in digital law, that the document that the court is working on in this case is not necessarily a testimony in that regard, but a memorandum with her opinions of what had happened. It's quite a technical aspect, but for court, for litigation in this regard, it's extremely particular with regards to what that document is. And essentially, Advocate Dali Mpofu saying that because all of this is her opinion, much of her report, her memorandum, can be thrown into the dustbin. Those were the very words that Mpofu used. And then Sadler conceding, indeed, part of her report might not be useful to the court. Take a listen to Mpofu's statement in this regard.
The tweets from that point on, in fact, the rest of the document is completely irrelevant. And ordinarily, I would be asking your Lordship to literally just remove everything from page 54 onwards. The only reason that I'm not doing so at this stage is that I'm going to ask one or two questions and a cross-examination which arise from some of the matter that is contained there. And obviously, if the defense refers to something, then obviously it stays in. But if that's acceptable to the other side.
Now, Arabile, this is going to be quite critical for the state because Sadler is their main witness in this case, looking at digital law around the tweets that were shared. But if her testimony, if her expert opinion is now questioned, with her also conceding that all of this is really her opinion, even though it's her expert opinion, there's a technicality there that this is not an expert witness statement as per what the court requires. It's going to leave a big hole for the state. And Mpofu has used a similar tactic with other witnesses, saying for almost all the witnesses that their statement is not worth the paper it's written on, and looking at a main loophole in that the tweets as they come, not all of the tweets in its individuality show incitement to commit public violence. Some of them is just, for example, a poster of the former President Nelson Mandela, for example, or of a group of men gathering and singing. That doesn't show public violence. But the witnesses so far have urged the court to consider the tweets as a cumulative indication of incitement to commit public violence, and in the context of the unrest at the time, and of course who Zuma-Sambudla is, or the former president's daughter, essentially calling for her father's release from incarceration. So cross-examination will continue. It's going to start at 10 o'clock. And then after that, we do expect at least one more witness from the state. But the defense side of this might actually only happen next year. Arabile.
Sure. Karinda, Jagmohan, appreciated. Good update as we head into another day of proceedings in the Duduzile Zuma-Sambudla case happening out of KZN.